So, hi everyone, and thank you for attending this presentation. I will talk about how we at Authlete are using Yugabyte to provide zero downtime maintenance and how we are able to do this with very little effort in terms of engineering work. My name is Henrik. I've been at Authlete since days. I'm the VP of Engineering. My background is in software development, architecture consulting, project management, and more recently in cloud infrastructure solutions, and especially Kubernetes. Some background on Authlete. We were founded 2015 in Tokyo. We provide an OAuth2 and OpenID Connect component as a service. This can be used to implement authorization servers and the authorization components for resource servers. So it's sort of an authorization backend for backends. We have a lot of customers in finance, banking, fintech, but the solution is general. So any kind of service that needs authorization can use it, which I think is pretty much all services. We provide this as a managed software as a service offering or on-premise or customer self-managed cloud. We're a quite global company with members and customers worldwide. So a simplified overview of our managed offering architecture. We run on Google Cloud, we use Kubernetes, and for the database, we use the Cloud SQL service with MySQL with the high availability option. The Authlete server also supports Postgres and Oracle as databases, and as you will learn, also Yugabyte. Some of our customers have a disaster recovery, multi-region active passive setup as an option as well. The background on the problems we've had is Cloud SQL has a roughly quarterly maintenance. It's only about 1 to 2 minutes downtime. The downtime itself is not the biggest problem because it's still well within our SLOs. But we need to notify our customers, and often they in turn need to notify their customers if they are system integrators who are supporting banks, for example. And often they want to reschedule these. So it incurs a high support overhead. Some other potential issues. Performance is not a big issue for us right now. We still have a margin that we can solve by just scaling up to beefier instances. But we have had on-premise customers with high performance requirements that would be hard to solve just by scaling one node. And regarding high availability, as I mentioned, we also have a disaster recovery option that is active passive. So the possibility to distribute the database cross-region is also an advantage for us. And scaling the database instances up and down also requires downtime when using Cloud SQL. So we've been discussing potential solutions to this for a number of years. Since we are a small team, we prefer a managed solution. We don't want to hire our own team of database admins. We also need good compatibility with our YugabyteDB middleware and our app. Again, since we're a small team, we can't spend that much time implementing support for new databases. Ideally, we want to be able to provide this option for on-premise customers as well. So a cloud-only solution is not a great fit. And we want a solution that can provide us with good support and partnership opportunities. So let me talk a bit about the work we did initially to evaluate Yugabyte as a DB solution. First, we needed to evaluate the compatibility and estimate how much work would be required to run Authlete with Yugabyte as a DB. So we tried replacing Cloud SQL with Yugabyte and then ran through our API integration tests and conformance suite. At first, some tests failed, but it turned out we only needed to set one flag for all the tests to pass. And this was much better than any other option that we explored. With some great help from the Yugabyte solutions team, we tuned the performance by setting different configuration flags, and we tested the performance of Authlete during a YugabyteDB cluster upgrade while running a load test against it. And after we did this tuning, the results were satisfactory. So the API response times were comparable or better than the Cloud SQL baseline. As I mentioned, the compatibility with our middleware and app are important to us. We had a minor compatibility issue in the DB schema. There was a Postgres data type that was not supported. Again, the Yugabyte team was very helpful in supporting us, and this issue has been fixed in the current versions of Yugabyte, so it's no longer a problem. In order to handle lost connections while doing rolling upgrades of the Yugabyte cluster, we had to do a small amount of rework on our DB layer to handle retries better. We started using the Yugabyte smart driver for JDBC and lowered the node list refresh interval so that changes in the DB cluster were detected and reflected faster on the upside. And with these changes, we were able to run a full rolling DB maintenance upgrade without any HTTP errors, which is the result we set out to achieve. Integration with our CI/CD system was straightforward. It's an advantage that Yugabyte is supplied as a container image and can easily run as a container, and that it's Postgres compatible. And the container image also includes useful tools. So it was not much work to integrate Yugabyte into our test pipeline. Okay, now that our evaluations had achieved satisfactory results, we discussed how to move this to a production offering for our customers. The first thing we did is a pilot project with one of our customers where we replaced Cloud SQL with Yugabyte in a cluster and evaluated the real-world use of it. We tested the impact of DB upgrades and saw only a minor performance impact and no errors or timeouts. So now we have announced Yugabyte as an officially supported DB option for on-premise customers who require high availability or high performance. We are moving to a general availability with Yugabyte as an option for our managed customers. There are some additional possibilities that Yugabyte offers us. So customers with the disaster recovery plan, we will evaluate using dual region Yugabyte clusters with active passive failover and async replication. This also opens the possibility for us to do multi-region deployments with an active-active setup. Deploying the Authlete server multi-region is not a big deal, but if the DB is in a separate region, then the latency on queries would be too high. But using a multi-region Yugabyte deployment should allow us to run both the app side and the database fully active multi-region. All right, that's all. So thank you for attending this short presentation. And if you have any questions, I'm available to answer.